Hey everyone, welcome back to Dear Dream Diary with your host Ashley. This is episode 6, and I did give you guys a little sneak peek of the title from my last episode. It's Message from the Other Side. I can't wait to get into the dream, but before we do, I just want to take the time to thank you guys again for listening to me and supporting me, messaging me. And just this journey that I'm on, I'm so glad that I have people who are actually engaging in conversation, and I just really love everything that I'm learning and all this knowledge that I'm gaining, and this door that I've opened up to a whole different realm of possibilities is just such an interesting journey, and I can't wait to share everything with you. I know week to week between each episode, I have ideas that just keep popping in my head. And I'm really excited and just so determined with this podcast and this knowledge and this journey. And thank you guys so much again for joining me with this. I really appreciate it. Another thing I wanted to talk about before we get into the dream is lucid dreaming. I know I've mentioned it before. I've mentioned some tips and tricks to be able to do that. If you guys are interested in lucid dreaming, there's different steps you have to do before you get there. One of them is dream recall. Like, you have to have good dream recall and be able to recall at least 1 to 2 dreams of a night before you're even able to have lucid dreams. And in order to have good dream recall, you have to have good, healthy sleeping habits. And what that looks like is you have to get at least 7 hours of sleep per night. I would say, maybe start a bedtime ritual to kind of let your brain know that, hey, we are going into our sleep mode now, and it's time to shut everything off and relax and calm down. So, having a good bedtime ritual, good bedtime routine is something very important. Even if you aren't trying to join me in this lucid dream journey, it's really important to have a good bedtime routine just for your normal daily life activities. And having a bedtime ritual, what that would look like is, maybe have a bath before bed, a shower before bed, read a chapter of a book before bed. Definitely one of the things that we shouldn't be doing, and I'm guilty for it myself, is having our electronic devices, our cell phones, tablets, whatever that may be, in front of our face before bedtime. We need to shut all electronics off an hour before bedtime, because that is stimulation for our brain, and that is not telling our brain it's time to go to bed. That is telling our brain to stay on and keep running and running and running, and we don't want our brains to keep running and running and running while we're trying to go to bed. We want our brains to slowly start shutting down and going into good, healthy sleep cycles and all those stages, and get to REM sleep. And during those stages, I mentioned what our body's doing, and we need our body to do that. I will say that I know I mentioned to you guys, I do have a sleep disorder, and for myself, to be preaching this it's a little bit silly, but not really, because I know the importance of it. And I've learned this ever since that I've been diagnosed with this sleep disorder. I've been doing all kinds of research, and this sleep disorder diagnosis isn't what led me to all this. I have other things that have been happening that has led me to opening this door to this realm completely. And I will talk about one of the things that I have happening. Maybe a couple other things too. I don't want to make my episodes too long and too much information thrown at you guys all at once, because I could just keep talking and talking for hours and days, and eventually you guys would just be like, all right, it's time to shut the hell up. But anyways, so I do sleep a lot with my sleep disorder, and no matter how much sleep or how little sleep I get, I wake up tired all the time. Doesn't matter. I joke about it all day long. I'm yawning all day long. Even with my medicine, sometimes I still get tired. And I'm always like, somebody's always looking at me when I'm yawning or whatever, making a joke. And I'm like, oh yeah, haha, so funny. I'm actually just tired all the time. Doesn't matter. I'm tired of being tired. So I'm trying to practice all these good, healthy sleeping habits. And again, I did say I'm very guilty for having my phone in front of my face before bedtime. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a goal and a promise that for this whole entire week until my next episode, I'm going to have no electronics 1 hour before bedtime. And I'm going to let you guys know how that affected me. If it made a complete difference, if I slept better, I will let you guys know. And that way we can test I know these theories have been tested, but we're going to test it together. Anyways, going forward, to the next thing I kind of wanted to talk about before we got into the dream was I did mention, I think in my first episode, maybe even my second, about shadows that I see. And when I see those shadows, I do have a sense of feeling that somebody is there. And the reason why I wanted to talk about the shadows in more detail on this episode is because it's kind of progressed a little bit further. And I have actually seen 2 spirits very clearly. One of them was when I was at work and my coworker actually seen my reaction to seeing this spirit, which was a scared reaction because I was bent down picking something up. And when I stood up, I seen somebody. It was a man wearing a burgundy sweater. And I jumped because it's scary. So I think that when I do get scared, that kind of just shuts the door completely to seeing anything further. I've never interacted with these spirits when I see the shadows or sense that somebody's there, or now these last 2 spirits that I seen were very clear to me. I've never interacted with them only because I get scared and then it's just the door shuts and I don't see anything or feel anything anymore. So I'm trying to kind of embrace that and maybe get to a point where I can interact with these spirits. And I know some of you might think I'm crazy when I say that, but there's so many people that have the ability to interact with spirits. They're just mediums, psychics, all kinds of different people. And I'm very shocked and surprised myself that this is happening. I never expected this to happen. And I know, again, as when I was a child, I used to see these shadows and have the similar experience, but I never really thought that it was anything. I thought it was just my imagination. I was seeing things and being scared. Like children do see a lot of things, but now in my older, more knowledgeable life, I know that young children are more susceptible to seeing different spirits or different types of things in different dimensions or whatever the other spirit side is. Anyways, so that was the one. It was a man wearing a mauve sweater. He was, I believe, in his late 50s, early 60s. And then the other one that I seen, I was actually working. I deliver mail for my first, my full-time job. And I was going up the stairs to one of the houses. And on the porch of the house next to me, I seen an older woman wearing a brown beige sweater. And she was kind of looking away. So I didn't get like a full look at what her face looked like. But she did have short gray silver hair. And of course, when I went to look to see if there was like a real person there, I didn't see it because it scared me. It gives me that little jump and my heart starts racing a little bit. And then I look to see it clearly and it's gone. So I'm trying to embrace being scared and moving past that and allowing that to continue further to a point where maybe I can interact with these spirits. And maybe I'll get there and you guys will experience that with me. But this podcast isn't focused on that. But I do have people asking me about it. So I wanted to mention that. And another thing before we get into the dream, all of my cover art that you guys see, I use an AI art generator app. I have Android and the app is called Imagine. So if you guys are interested in looking or checking that out, if you guys have Apple phones, I'm sure there's an abundance of AI art generator apps that you can use. But what I do is I either type in a scene from my dream and it gives me a picture and I can generate more until I get to a picture that I actually like, that is relatable or resonates to the dream. So it's a pretty interesting app. I think that is all that I wanted to talk about before the dream. So I'm going to get into the dream. And again, this one is titled Message from the Other Side. So here we go. Dear Dream Diary. In this dream, it was a dream in a dream. In the first part of the dream, my grandma came to visit me. I could see her so clearly, and she was standing so close to me. She appeared as a younger version of herself. She told me, stop getting things you don't have the money for. You will have money, just not right now, and you need to focus on the moment. Then I woke up, but was still dreaming, and I was telling my mom about seeing Mima. That's what I call my grandma. And I told my mom what she said. I remember crying while telling her. I woke up instantly after telling my mom what happened and here. So this message for me, and I seen her, she was standing maybe about 6 inches from my face, and I seen her face so clearly. Her voice was so clear. This was obviously her coming to me, giving me a message. And I'll tell you a little bit about my grandma and my grandparents, actually. Both my grandparents, I was always with them. We used to all live together in this large family home. There was me. At one point, there was me, my 2 uncles, my mom, my grandparents, my brother. We all lived together in this large family home. And then, some of them, my one uncle left first, and then my other uncle left. And then it was just me and my mom. And then me and my mom and my brother left. When we were all living together, I was always with my grandparents, always. When my mom was at work, my grandparents would watch me. My grandparents are amazing. I love my grandparents so much. They're both passed away. So my grandma, not that she was bad with money, but as an adult, I kind of look back and it's, again, so what she would do is, if they didn't have a lot of money, they always went out for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Even if they didn't have a lot of money, they always did. And they would always bring me and my brother. And the fact that they didn't have a lot of money and they, always brought me and my brother, they wanted to make sure we were fed. They wanted to make sure they were spending time with us. But as an adult, I know the challenges of what it's like to pay all these bills and have these responsibilities. And the fact that they did that, not that I'm mad about it. I just I feel bad that she, took her last dollar to give to me and my brother because, again, I know that it's a challenging time as an adult with all these financial responsibilities. So for her to come to me to give me this message, I know that it's very meaningful. And I know that she knows what she's talking about because she's experienced the financial hardships of life and everything, the circle of life. And in this moment right now in my life, it's not that I'm poor, but it's not that I'm rich either. I am struggling. Everybody at some point has this little hurdle that they have to get over. And I know that it's just a temporary situation. I spent a lot of money renovating my house. That put me in debt. But I work 2 jobs and I feel sometimes I get this little urge to buy myself something because I work 2 jobs and I should be able to buy myself something and enjoy it. Every time I do buy myself something, I feel guilty, instantly guilty after, because I know that money could have been used towards something else. And around the time that I had this dream, I had just got an electric keyboard. The electric keyboard or electric piano advertised itself, and I'm between my grandma and the universe, they're both working together, telling me that I did not need to get this electric piano because it advertised itself as fully weighted keyboard, which, if you guys aren't piano players, fully weighted it's just like a feeling that it's a real piano. And when I received it, it was not fully weighted. It was just a straight electric piano. It sounded like crap. And while I was playing some songs like by myself, the demo music started playing every so often. So I'm in the process of returning that. Like I got approved to be able to return it. I just have to pay for shipping, of course. Like I don't know why the company wouldn't send me a shipping label to return it back to them, but this is the struggle with the company and the universe telling me that I didn't need to get this device and stop getting these things, as well as my grandma telling me to stop getting these things that you don't have the money for right now, and you will have the money at some point, just not right now, and focus on the moment. So that is definitely something I'm going to listen to. I haven't bought myself anything in I don't know how long. I'll buy small things here and there, coffees, lunch, whatever. But actual like a big device, the piano was the first thing I had bought myself in a while, and it's just not what I was looking for. I wanted the fully weighted keyboard and etc., whatever, so on. So I'm listening to my grandma and the universe. I will not get anything right now, and I will focus on the moment and, move past this little hurdle that I'm going through right now. But it was just such a funny message. And I did pull 2 dream cards for that. I pulled people, which I'm going to read that now. So people represent aspects of the self, each one an archetype of yourself. And the themes are tourists, crowds, authoritarians, family, people at work, teachers, celebrities, royalty, old and wise people, men, women, children, attractive stranger, people you know in real life. Archetypal characters, oh my god, I couldn't say those 2 words together. Archetypal characters are universal because they represent types of people who we all encounter in our lives. In dreams, they symbolize the qualities within yourself or those you associate with others. Common authority figures represent themselves as king, judge, priest, teacher, boss, parent, or an older person from whom you take advice. Quite often, they can be rolled into a single figure of an old wise man or woman. Watch your reaction in your dream to this character, as that will give you a clue about what your attitude is to authority in real life. Do you feel overburdened with responsibility, or are you not taking sensible advice? Perhaps you are not given enough power to create changes. I literally just described that whole situation. Do you feel overburdened with responsibility? Well, of course. I mean, I'm, not in where I want to be financially, which is then, because I'm not where I want to be financially, is taking away from, time that I can spend with my children and everything. So that just explained everything that I just talked about. So I'll continue reading. A baby or young child means you are at the start of a new project and you need to give it your full attention. Being a celebrity suggests you aren't feeling recognized for your efforts or talent. If you are enjoying the company of a celebrity and or other high-profile person, it indicates you feel validation. A woman dreaming of other women represent those feminine aspects of herself. If the dreamer is a man, the female figures represent his relationship with women in his life as well as the feminine side of himself. This inner female is known as the anima. When a female dreams of a male, it is her animus. I think that's how you pronounce those words. The aspects associated with that of the masculine, such as ambition, logic, and dominance, she wants to connect with. Strangers represent parts of yourself that you haven't explored yet or are afraid to explore. If you are a tourist, you are seeing things with a new and fresh outlook. How people are dressed in your dreams also reflects the way you feel about qualities they embody. Glamour and elegance indicates a wish fulfillment, whereas threadbare and ragged means you are lacking in the qualities the characters in your dream represent. Look and assess all the qualities associated with the role the person plays in your dream. Okay. I do just want to say, like, even though I am, not where I want to be in life, I'm not completely unhappy. The only aspect that I'm really not fully satisfied with is the fact that I don't get to spend a lot of time with my children. That is the worst thing, or the biggest thing that bothers me, is that I'm not able to spend a lot of time with my children. And again, I know that this situation is temporary, but with all this research and knowledge and everything that I'm doing, I know that I'm supposed to, if you look at life as a set of stairs, and each stair is a hurdle or obstacle or a different level in life that you have to overcome, and you have to embrace the stair that you're on. And I think that is one of the biggest things that kind of opened my eyes, is that like kind of analogy, because it's true. Like, somebody might be on a different stair than you. That doesn't make that person better than you. That just makes that person further along in life than you are. But even like everything that I see and witness in life, like, people always are judging other people. And I think that if we took the time, instead of judging other people and saying positive words of encouragement, maybe those positive words of encouragement are what that person needs to hear in order to move to the next step. But it's all about embracing the step that you're on. And that's kind of where I am. And regardless if this step is really, really challenging, I'm embracing it and in the moment and going to move to the next step. I just need to, again, embrace it. And that's what I'm doing. And every moment that I do get with my children, I enjoy it and just try to make it the fullest. Again, they were just sick for the last 2 weeks. So it was kind of not the best time with them because they were sick and they weren't enjoying the time with me. So they're better now. So I will be able to spend some time with them and enjoy it, and they'll be able to enjoy it as well. I'm going to read the second card, which the second card I pulled was spiritual guides. And spiritual guides represent your spiritual self and the imagination, a desire to connect with the ethereal world. And the themes are angels giving guidance, shamans or holy men, guiding lights, mythical creatures, magical beings and fairies, aliens, religious figures, ghosts, people you know who have died. Angels have been regarded as messengers from the divine, so to dream of one is to expect good news and keep faith during difficult times ahead. A guiding light or a spiritual guide represents your need for spiritual connection with the divine. Pay attention to images in the dream as they come to the dreamer at times of great personal changes in soul searching. Religious figures from all faiths indicate that you are searching for universal truths and questioning your moral belief system. Your interaction with these figures will give them specific symbolic meaning for you. Usually these figures bring you comfort and reassurance. Alien abduction or sighting is a common dream, and it can have a number of meanings. It could indicate a fear of changing or adapting to new environment or situation, such as a new job, being newly divorced, a move to another town or country. Parts of yourself may feel alienated from you or others. Magical and mythical beings such as fairies, mermaids, unicorns, centaurs, and dragons each have specific functions in the ethereal world and that of your imagination. By confronting or being greeted by these characters, you also connect to your deep creativity and desire to accomplish what you normally cannot do in the real world. Magic is about escaping that constrained world of the logical mind and about gaining power over your inner world. That's interesting. I'm going to stop there for a second because going back to my lucid dream tips, I forgot to mention that if you're trying to lucid dream, you have to have good dream recall, which means you're keeping a dream diary in order to recall these dreams. And one of the things that you also need to do is kind of go over all your dreams and see if there's any dream signs. And what that is a common theme in your dreams that allow you or make you aware that you're dreaming. And one of my dream signs is having magical powers in my dream. A lot of my dreams, I have some sort of magical power. And usually I have this magical power, but I'm not able to fully endure it or embrace it because it's depleted and I need to re-energize this power. So that is my dream sign. And the fact that it is saying here, magic is about escaping that constrained world of the logical mind and about gaining power over your inner world. That is so relatable because I've already mentioned how mundane both my jobs are and how much I want to be giving back to the universe and community and people and not just these mundane jobs. And it's just interesting. This doesn't relate to my dream now, but just my dream signs and a lot of my other dreams. So I thought that was interesting and I kind of wanted to stop and talk about that. I'll continue reading the rest of the meaning for the dream card here. So dreaming of someone who has died recently or in the past means you are trying to recapture the past or past emotions. It could symbolize that you are grieving for what has gone or have issues to resolve with such things as youth, health, marriage, relationships, the death of someone dear, career, and so on. Being haunted by a ghost indicates you are actually being haunted by unfulfilled ambitions, the could-haves and should-haves. They are unrealized dreams and regrets, as they have no physical substance, just like ghosts. So this definitely resonates with my dream here. Where it says dreaming of someone who has died, it could symbolize that you are grieving for what has gone or have issues to resolve with, such as youth, health, marriage, relationships, death of someone dear, career. 100%. I am having issues with my careers, and not that I don't like my jobs. I just said, I find that they're too mundane for me and I'm not giving enough back to the universe. And I want to be doing something where I'm giving back to the universe. And I need to overcome this fear and take a step into something where I do feel like I'm giving back. I know that timing is everything, and I will, and at some point find something that I feel have those feelings where I am giving back. It's just timing is everything. And that is the most true statement to myself. I don't know if others believe that, but the universe will provide when the timing is right. And I know right now the timing is not right because of all these other factors in my life. But the universe will provide when the timing is right. So that is my dream and my dream cards, which I'm constantly learning or being retaught something through these dream cards. I really love these dream cards. I think I did post a picture of them on my social media. It's Dream Reading Cards by Rose and Sierra. I just got them at my local bookstore, which is Forever to Me Chapters, but it is currently Indigo. I'll always call it Chapters. It's never Indigo to me. I don't care what anybody says. I was going to talk about one other thing, actually a couple other things, and maybe I'll save it for my next episode. I think I'm going to save it for my next episode, but I was going to talk about two situations that happened to me. They're intuition situations. So I will talk about those on my next episode. For now, that is everything, folks. If you aren't already following me, I am on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, as well as YouTube. Again, thank you so much, everyone, for listening and taking the time to listen to me babble about my life journey and life experience and everything I'm learning. I really appreciate you guys. And until next time, I hope you all have sweet dreams.